which is weird. Why is it weird? Don't play with your phone. You got to look up here, remember? Oh!
I'm used to being at work right now.
And you're off today, right?
Yup.
Yeah. So let's put that up here maybe.
1 second. There we go.
We are joining you live here on a Friday afternoon in Canada.
Surprisingly, it's Canada,
Right?
yes.
We've had a busy day here, but you've been at respite for the week and have had fun. What kind of things do you do there?
Stuff.
Okay. What did we decide to talk about today?
Loneliness.
Loneliness. So I'm sure that there are people out there that have had lonely seasons in their life.
Or maybe still are.
Or maybe are smack dab in the middle of one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes that's hard when you're smack dab in the middle of it, but there's people out there that probably are, because that's the reality of life, right?
Yeah.
You found that great little quote by C.S. Lewis?
Yep.
Yeah, because you're so creative.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah. Anyway, so we just thought we would talk about loneliness. And you know what? Sometimes we go through seasons in our life that are not fun and we can be really lonely. I know COVID was probably one of those seasons for a lot of people. I know my season, I was separated and divorced, and that was not a fun season to walk through.
I was stuck inside.
COVID, Madison was stuck inside. So we just thought we'd come on here and talk about that and encourage people, what to do in a lonely season and what's important to do. And I think sometimes we have to be very intentional. When we are lonely, hi, how are you, Dana? When we are lonely, the worst thing to do is to stay by ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I know myself, I am a people person. I don't do well when I'm hanging out by myself all day long at the house, or you have nothing to look forward to that you're going to see people, right?
I mean, I hung out at the house. I was just lucky if I had Apollo.
Yeah, during COVID, it was right before COVID we got your service dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was actually a really good thing for Madison. So, animals are something that can help people through lonely seasons.
It's
right?
actually surprising how animals can actually figure out people.
Figure out you too, for sure.
Me, yes. I don't know how Apollo does it.
But it was a great season to have him, wasn't it? During
Yeah.
COVID and then after, because he's like your buddy now, right?
Yeah,
And
whenever people don't want to listen, he just somehow is there.
He always listens, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he always has an audience. He never talks back. But sometimes those lonely seasons are so hard, because we can easily get swallowed up like, poor me, why am I going through this, whatever.
Why me of all people?
Yeah, whatever is the thing in the messy middle that we're going through, sometimes we can be really discouraged. And loneliness is never a fun thing, because your mind it can really play tricks on you, and you can let stinking thinking come in. Like I say, we need to get rid of that stinking thinking. But loneliness, when you let that settle in, there's a lot of negative things that can happen.
Whether it be like anxiety, depression, any of that.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that come with it, right? So we just came on to encourage you things, that you could do, if you're lonely. But number one, I think, is be around people and, especially get outside, get some fresh air, stay grounded, right? All those things matter. When you get fresh air, and get exercise, those are all really healthy choices. But being around people and encouraging yourself in the Lord. 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So sometimes when you're going through that, it's a lot harder. I just was doing a ladies talk this afternoon, and hi Donna, and it's true, when you're going through it, sometimes it's really hard. And
nobody realizes what you're doing or what even you're dealing with too. Like, when you're going through that, people are like, oh, she's just normal.
Well, Jesus sees everything we go through, right? And we can be encouraged. Oh, look at this. Living alone, I have to make a conscious effort to stay involved. See, that's so true. And to be, sign up for things, activities, whether it's something at your church,
or
Bible
even
study,
just walking outside, around your block,
bumping
or
into
something.
people, taking your dog for a walk.
That's what I did.
But even joining a group, go bowling, there's things that, you have to be very intentional sometimes and put it in your schedule that I'm going to do this and I'm going to commit to this because I know I need to be around people.
But when you don't, there's so much chaotic outcomes. If you're not like 100% on one thing, if you're like, no, that's that, and I'm gonna do it.
Ooh. Right?
It's just like a chaotic whirlpool thing that
chaotic whirlpool. And we don't want to live in a chaotic whirlpool.
No.
Do we? No. We want to give ourselves, healthy tools to make ourselves a better person, right?
Yeah.
Encourage ourselves in the Lord. And sometimes that is hard, so we have to be intentional of what we are doing and who we're hanging around. And I know I've had people have said to me, Connie, I just love being around you because you encourage me and you lift my spirits.
Instead of taking it away.
And it's really great for me to be around you. So you could be that person to somebody else too and not really
you
realize
don't even
it.
know half the time what they're actually dealing with. And even if they just see you and it's a matter of saying hi to them, it might make their day.
Right. Be a joy injector and give them a little Jesus when they're at it, right? I always tell that to Madison when she's at work. Like, sometimes we don't know what people have gone through and what they're living through. And sometimes when people are lonely, you know what? Sometimes they just get out of the house to go to a store to bump into somebody, to have a conversation with somebody. Because when you're living alone, was it Donna said something? But when you're living alone, you don't have that conversation. Well, you could talk to yourself, but you're not having a conversation. Feedback.
I mean,
so I said,
you might not be your best
conversationalist.
Yeah.
Well, like I said to Madison at work, sometimes you don't know what somebody's going through. So always be kind, right? Because we never know what somebody's living through and what their story is.
When you could actually be nice
Being
and
nice
actually help people
is way funner, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway, but Madison had a scripture here to read. Why don't you read your scripture where it's from? Why don't you say where it's from?
Isaiah 41:10.
Okay. Go ahead. Give it. Do you want a microphone?
Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not anxiously look about you, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
Woohoo! So God is for us, and we don't need to be anxious or fearful about anything. I surround myself with young people. It keeps me so rejuvenated. Oh, I love this. This is so good. That is why I live in the city of Atlanta. Always things to get involved with things. You know what? That is true. It is really hard. If you're stuck out in the country, like my parents live out in the country, and unfortunately, they're not near a lot of people.
No.
God bless them. So their bubble is...
They have to drive maybe like 10, 20 minutes just to find people.
That's right. They're 45 minutes from us, right? But that's so true. Like if you live in a bigger city, there's so many things you can do. And I know there's people that go on and see what things are for free going out there. Just something fun they can go out and do. And some people have taken pottery classes, or there's a cool place where we live that you can make your own pizza and, do that all up and have the big pizza oven, and it's like a party that you do all together. And there's so many things, but the important thing is just to be around people and encourage yourself in the Lord, because God wants to see us happy and have joy and fill ourselves up with the right thing. And you know what? When we are filling ourselves up with the word and worship and, reading our scriptures and doing devotions and all of that stuff that we're filling ourselves up with that is good. Volunteering is an awesome one.
I did a lot of
Madison has done a lot of that. And Madison, that's how she got her job, because you were such an amazing volunteer, right?
Well, co-op volunteer, same thing.
So, that is a really good point. And I met so many amazing volunteers in my previous job, right? That, people that just needed to get out. That, if they stayed home, they were going to be lonely and not see anybody.
I know a lady at work, if she were to stay home, she doesn't know what to do. Like, she would actually clean her house when she was at home because...
Can you imagine that, Madison, cleaning your house? Madison hates cleaning. Imagine having to use that as a last resort.
No, but because she's...
Hey, Christy! Oh my goodness, there's my old high school friend. And we are still friends. We went out for lunch not that long ago. So, welcome. Happy Friday. Anyway, we just want to encourage people that fill yourself up with the right things, because when we're lonely, and being a woman too, and being
you don't zone out a lot of that.
No. But what I was going to say, being a single woman too, sometimes it's a difficult thing because so many single women get in stinking thinking and they get lonely. And when they get lonely, sometimes they're not thinking very clearly.
It's like the cloud is in there.
And I know I went through the whole dating scene, and I mean, it's really hard at this age. You know, it's not at all like it used to be. And going online dating, and there's some real crackerjacks out there. I'm not going to lie. And sometimes, and women, like a lot of time, women they just
we don't know how to defend ourselves.
Meet their knight in shining armor, so that they're not with themselves, and they just want to go down the road and get themselves married to whoever comes along. And sometimes we kind of lose sight of maybe wisdom in that. And I have some friends over the years that I've talked to, and I say, you know what, when we're lonely, we have to really be careful that, you know, sometimes we go looking for love and expect to find a diamond in the garbage can, right? So a lot of the time, women that are lonely, you know, they're giving things away for free that they shouldn't be. And it's not biblical. And they're wondering why they're not being blessed. And they're wondering why they're not meeting their mighty man of God, you know, in the garbage can, you know, and they ask themselves all these things. But you know what I find is if you're lonely, especially there's that verse, oh gosh, where is it now? I can't even remember, about writing down on the tablets. But write down what you want in a mate. The yes, no, the no list, the yes list, what they have to have. And you know what? And pray over that list and be intentional.
You did it.
I did. And it worked out well, didn't it? But, you know, just be encouraged, because when women are lonely, sometimes, you know what, we can get off on a rabbit trail that we got no business being on. So I think that's very important, to be intentional of, you know, how you spend your time. Make sure you're like Donna or Dana, I can't remember, said, you know, be involved in things. You look in your community, the things that you can do. You know, Bible studies are great things. Even women's Bible studies, women's groups. Sometimes there's lunch bunches. You know, have a group of women that can pray for you. So if you are really not doing well, you know, have that group of women that you can reach out to that will pray and encourage you, and you can rely on, right? And that want the best for you. You know, that are from your tribe and actually want to see you do well, want to see you reach your potential and not make bad choices, and can speak the truth to you in love, because sometimes we need to hear that, right? I know myself, when I was a single mom, I never really was much for going to the gym, but I had a bunch of tenants.
I mean, you and I both did. I wasn't either.
And it seemed like one of them, you know, every night when Madison would go to bed, I'd be going to the gym.
Well, we sometimes go together, I think, too.
Sometimes we go together. Yeah. Yeah. You were always somebody that went to bed early, which you needed like 12 hours sleep, which us is fine. But I found, you know, it was something that I did Monday to Friday. I would just go to the gym every day. It was an outing. I got to see people. I'd always bump into somebody who would know. But I'm also getting exercise and know it's healthy for me, and it's, you know, it's going to be a good outcome. Are you tired? Are you yawning?
No.
Anyway, anything else to add? And like Madison said, a pet is really, you know, important.
Yeah.
Okay, look at Dana saying something else. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back to put yourself out in
Yes.
the community. You will find most people are just where you are. That is so good, right? Sometimes we get in a mindset thinking, oh, I'm the only one going through this. Oh my goodness.
It's just me. It's nobody else.
Yeah, it's just like I'm limited edition, so no one else in the world is going through this problem. And man, you're right. As soon as you step outside the door, you're like, oh my goodness, somebody else is going through this.
Yeah.
You know, God might send you a token to somebody at the coffee shop that's going through the exact same thing as you. Yeah. It was funny, I met your friend, we won't say her name, but at work.
Oh,
and you want me to introduce her to her. And
this is the crazy part.
lovely lady. Why, what's the crazy part? Okay.
Keep
Lovely
going.
lady. She's retired. You know, she's lonely. She's doing things out there in the community. She's taken up pickleball, and she actually really loves it.
She actually says it's a lot of fun. It's actually similar to tennis, just without the...
But what I was going to say, I was really touched because Madison came and introduced me to her. And she's
like, one of my favorite customers.
Yeah, she is one of her favorite customers, and she brings her treats all the time. Anyways, but Madison come to introduce me and said, I want you to meet her mom. She always comes in here. So Madison went off to work, and then we stayed and chatted for a while. And it was really interesting and really blessed my heart because Madison is so amazing. But what she said was she loved coming in to see Madison because Madison was so positive. She was so happy. She would always be so excited to see her.
And that's not the first time either.
And she would run and give her a hug. And she said, I just love coming in here because it blesses my heart and it just fills me up.
You know what?
And I thought that is just a second. That is so encouraging to know that, you know, when we see somebody else in public, we can make their day better, you know, and even just spreading a little joy and happiness, like what a big difference that can make to somebody that's lonely. And when I ended up talking to this lady, God is so amazing. I just thought of this story, that she actually was a breast cancer survivor, and she's just kind of just nicely on the other side of her journey. And I had the really rare kind of breast cancer that's only in less than 5%. And lo and behold, so does she. She had the same kind. So we connected. We probably talked in the Goodwill aisle for about an hour.
Yeah, they were there for a while.
We exchanged numbers, and I bump into her quite a bit when I drop you off, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she at least comes once a day.
Yeah.
Like every day.
So that is true. Like so many times we think that we're the only ones going through things. And, you know, it's comforting to know that there's other people that are going through that. And, you know, that we can use our story to encourage somebody else. And sometimes just locking arms with somebody and having something to be with. Sometimes it's just like to go for supper with somebody else. Hey, Mickey, how are you? And, you know, so that we don't have to go by ourselves.
And there's this one.
Although I'm fine going by myself, I really learned to conquer that. But it's a real treat sometimes just having someone else to go out to eat with, having somebody to meet for coffee.
There was this one lady that came in not that long ago. I think it was last week.
Okay, and what happened?
You know what she actually told me? This actually made me feel better because I was like, I didn't realize how much.
Okay, what did she tell you? Speaking of the microphone.
How much I actually. Because she said when she had walked into Goodwill, she was so depressed.
Oh.
And then when she came to see me, when she saw me there.
You light up her life.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You
just make people sing, I'm gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay down my burdens, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Woo! My friend Joyce from the Martins sings that. Not anything like I do, but it just made me think of that. But that sometimes when we meet somebody, we can have such an impact on them that they can forget about their problems, forget about their burdens, throw them away, wash them down the river, and just give them a little joy injection, throw a little Jesus injection in there with it, and like really make an impact on their life. So I think part of being lonely, we have to be intentional of where we're going, what we're doing, who we're hanging around. And she's telling me to wrap it up. Isn't that hilarious? She writes it down. Wrap it up.
No, but she can talk forever.
She can talk forever. Thank you. Well, it's a Friday afternoon. Everybody's probably doing exciting things for the weekend. And we were just thinking about that, you know. So many people are planning fun stuff for the weekend. In Canada, we have Thanksgiving coming up here. And
you Americans are next month. Ours is this month.
Yeah, you Americans, that's near my birthday in November.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes those are really hard seasons for people that are lonely when they don't have people in their life. So sometimes, you know, it can make such an impact on people. Like
we did that one year where
we did that a couple of years.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought it was one.
Because you don't remember sometimes, but
I know it was Brock.
I know at Christmas when I was single.
No, Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, so we would just invite people that didn't have a place to go, basically. So sometimes we had a bunch of students there. The one year we had like 24 people. We had students. Maddie sounds like an angel. She is an angel on earth. But we had like 90-year-old people there and like college age kids there, right? But it was awesome because you know what? nothing worse than spending the holiday alone.
By yourself.
Yeah, and we got to bless people and we got to feed them. We even had a gift exchange. That was fun, wasn't it? It was just lots of fun. So I thought coming into the weekend, there's so many people out there that might be lonely and wish their life was in a different place. And you know what? Never forget that sometimes when we're going through that messy middle and the seasons that we don't like, you're not going to be there forever.
The light on the other side. You just have to
and you're going to
find it.
eventually get to the other side of this and look back and be like, wow, now I know, I can see where God brought me through that. And, you know, I thought I wanted this and I prayed for this, but it's not what I got. And, you know,
your tunnel may seem really, really long where that light is, but it's actually, when you go through that tunnel, you may trip over something and you might fall down.
And like Real Talk Kim says, rejection is God's protection. So sometimes the thing that we want, you know, we don't get, we think, oh man, but you know what?
Fall.
God's really got our best
But He's
interest
there to actually grab a hold and pick you back up again.
every time, right? So heading into this weekend, you know what? Encourage somebody that you may feel is walking through a lonely time. Invite somebody out for dinner or over to your house, even for coffee, dessert, a meal, whatever. You know, just try to be aware that there are people that are going through lonely seasons. And you know what? Just spread a little joy, like Maddie does when she meets people at work, eh?
I don't even know them.
Oh. But that doesn't matter, right?
No, but even before.
You can just be happy, and that's infectious, and that spills out of you, and it spreads over onto other people, right? So that when you walk in the room,
domino effect.
when you walk in the room, be the atmosphere changer, right?
And be that domino
spread joy,
effect.
right? And never forget, little is much when God is in it. Woohoo! And when He is in it, we're in it to win it, right?
Yeah.
So have a fabulous Friday. Have a fabulous weekend. And you know what? Just go love on some people. You know, maybe just make that your mission the next week to reach out to somebody.
Be Jesus with skin on.
Be Jesus with skin on. Reach out to somebody that, you know, you just think could use a little extra joy and an extra little company in their week that could possibly be lonely. Because we don't want, you know, people to fall into a bad situation because, you know, they don't have people reaching out to them and don't have anybody in their life. So like Maddie said, be Jesus with skin on and just show love wherever you go, because you never know when your words or your smile or your hug can really change and make a difference in someone's day. Right?
Right.
All right. So happy Friday. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Have a great weekend. Love you, Dana. Have fun in Atlanta. I guess I've heard that the storm is kind of over-ish. I'm getting messages from people that they're safe and their kids are safe and their houses are safe. So, you know what? Just keep praying Psalms 91 over everybody. And you know what? That God will just protect them. And our dog is making a funny noise. That's weird.
That's okay. He's just sleeping.
He's just sleeping. Oh, must be
That's
nice.
how he dreams.
Oh, you're good now. Okay, praise the Lord. Awesome. Anyway, have a great weekend and GBB Jesus with skin on. Love you all. See you soon.